Campus Ministry Office as they ground our lives in our faith, in our school's spiritual tradition. Campus Ministers on Air. Be guided, be inspired, be blessed. Listen to our Campus Ministers on Air. Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. We are now on YouTube. Watch all of our live episodes plus exclusive content in our channel at Radyo Katipunan FM. Don't forget to click subscribe and hit the bell to get the latest updates.
Just with Music Ministry, your daily dose of inspiration. Follow jescom.ph on Spotify and Jescom Music on YouTube. We are also on iTunes and Deezer.
Welcome to World College Radio Day. This is Radio-Katipunan 87.9 FM, the voice of the Blue Eagle.
Blue Eagle kami, di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng eskwela.
For all things pop. Catch our all-around pop culture geek, Cholo Sediaren, as he throws in some dose of what's poppin' and what's hot in the pop culture scene here on Popcorn. Munch in with us every Thursdays from 4 to 6, only here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
In 3, 2, 1. What's poppin', and welcome to Popcorn with Cholo Sediaren, your stop for all things pop, where we talk about all things pop culture from here in the Philippines to the rest of the globe. Welcome back, everyone, and this is another week of news and happenings all around pop culture, and marami ring magiging showbiz chika sa loob ng episode na to maya-maya. Abangan nyo yan. Maraming mga maiinit na balita pag-uusapan mula sa showbiz world. But before we begin this week's show, of course, let's welcome our co-host for the week. Welcome back, Paula.
Hi, glad to be back.
Yes, with her jersey, and she's about to play volleyball.
Kageyama jersey.
Yes.
Woo!
And we also have Perns, our resident newscaster. Our Twitter verified
Correspondent.
Yes.
Hello.
We have all the updates from Perns every week. And not just every week, but like literally
Every
as
day.
it's announced. Yeah. So we're happy to have him like pitch in all the news and all that. And of course, from the visual land of Dren, Pavia. Welcome back, Dren.
Annyeong. Hello.
I feel like the viewers on the video version would really wonder what Dren looks like, but he hasn't revealed his face.
It's funny because you can just like search my name. And
That
Or
is
like-
true.
Look,
Or like our live episodes.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
true.
sure. But yeah, I'm sure one day I'll
One
turn on the
day,
camera by
you
accident.
just have to subscribe to his Patreon account and
Wow.
his face.
Face
and-
reveal. Yeah.
Yeah, face reveal and like stream, and you can stream Dren's video
Yes.
gaming stream.
Yes.
But
again.
anyway, this episode is talking about different things. First of all, one of the things we're gonna talk about this week is the recently concluded DC Fandom 2021. The second round of DC Fandom. I mean, we haven't had comic conventions, or meron man, but it's been virtual recently. And last year, what emerged was DC Fandom, which is actually one of our, I guess, higher rating episodes from last year. A lot of DC fans on here, I guess.
Hey.
Hooray.
Now we're gonna be talking about the recent reveals from this year's event. While it's a bit, I guess, not as big as the last year, because last year was pretty like they had all those blockbusters like
Yeah.
the Snyder Cut and the sad to say flop of Wonder Woman
Oh
1984.
Lord. Lord.
But yeah, I mean, this year there's still a lot of exciting news. Where do we even begin? I guess let's begin with the first trailer to Peacemaker, which is a spin-off of the James Gunn The Suicide Squad, which we had an episode on. If you want to listen to it, also our whole discussion on that. John Cena reprises his role as the Peacemaker, who is not. I mean, it's arguably not peacemaking, basically.
Yeah.
And that's basically the concept of the show, like him having a team of people behind him trying to make him a better person, I guess. And from the looks of it, the trailer looks pretty fun. And the humor of James Gunn definitely there. And John Cena just really like having so much fun with his character, and like a bald eagle, that's pretty crazy to me. What did you guys think of this trailer?
Oh, well, first of all, I didn't think I would like. I just didn't see the need for, I guess, like a spin-off series after watching the Suicide Squad, I guess. But seeing the trailer, I'm happy that it's coming out. I think we all need like a good laugh every now and then, and it seems to like really deliver that. Yeah, I don't know the characters, but I'm excited to get to know them. Lalo na si Vigilante. He seems
Yes.
like a sort of Deadpool-ish type of character, na very snarky, magsalita, and all that. And John Cena really leans into this type of comedic character. I'm so happy to see him doing this. I've always known he was a funny guy since like Trainwreck. So it's nice that he continues that streak. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with all of that, especially on the point of Trainwreck. I was a big fan of Johnson in like the WWE back when I actually watched, and then he started coming, and then he came out with like the Marine, which is like a horrible movie.
Oh my
It was, like,
God.
such a bad movie. And then he comes out with Trainwreck like years later, like 2016 or something,
Yeah.
and it's so good. He's so funny in it,
So funny.
and I just felt like from then on, I was like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense that like a lot of wrestlers can act because like The Rock and stuff because they're wrestlers, they act every day as well. And I guess I just didn't expect John Cena to really lean into the acting thing as much as he has, and to get into the MCU, which is crazy, and the Rock's in the DCU. It I also agree with Paula that like I also didn't really like why Peacemaker, like why this guy specifically, other than it's John Cena, so probably one of the bigger names in the franchise. But I think also what's interesting is that I think I read somewhere rather that James Gunn said something along the lines of Peacemaker is everything that's wrong with America, and he wants to show how he can change because he wants to show that America's in a really bad place because of the last president they had, and he wants to show how they can bounce back, similar to what is going to happen to Peacemaker in his series. So that's really interesting. So I'm really excited for that. Yeah.
Actually, what Dren said, that pretty much showed in Peacemaker's character's Suicide Squad. It really shows, and now we get to see that even more as a series. And I guess having a series, it's for me, it goes back na just let James Gunn do whatever he wants.
Just give him the money, guys.
And it's great na he has so much control. Like he wrote all the 8 episodes and he's directing 5 of them. So like DC understands na how much creativity this man has, and now we get to see him with this much power on a small screen. It's gonna be a small screen, but the output will be so magnificent. I can already feel it.
Yeah, I mean, just to talk about John Cena's acting in general, I just want to mention that the randomest John Cena movie I've ever seen was him playing the dad of Fred in the Fred movie. You remember Fred, the YouTuber?
Oh,
hey, it's Fred!
Yeah, I was like, wait, what?
Oh my, why did you watch that movie?
I have no idea. You know how random I can get sometimes. And I guess natripan ko lang yung Fred, the movie, and John Cena was his dad. And that's just pretty funny. I guess.
Oh, I see.
I guess I just
want to... his face. So confused.
Yes, there's an actual Fred movie.
When you said that, I was like, wow, that takes me so far back.
Yeah, dude, like high school.
He was like the first solo YouTuber that really like broke YouTube, quote unquote, because he rose so fast. Like he surpassed like, I'm gonna mention like some really old names here. He surpassed like Kev, Jumba, Smosh, and Niga Higa. Like all like just he rocketed past them to like 10 million subscribers, and then he just vanished.
Yeah, I wonder. I wonder where Fred is now.
He came out and he has his YouTube channel again. I think he's under like it's under his real name now.
Because when he did the Nickelodeon show, he wasn't allowed to continue YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because Ryan Higa was also offered to be in that Ninja TV series that
yes.
But the condition was that he wouldn't be allowed to continue YouTube, so he declined the role.
Yeah. So now, he went back to YouTube and he I think he came out. That was like one of his first videos, I think, and now he just like does vlogs and stuff. So it's really cool. Lucas,
the Fred voice still? No, naman.
No, it's like his normal voice. He's normal.
In the Fred voice. Now I want like, nostalgia. Rebecca Black meets Fred in a video.
Dude, annoying orange.
Dude, yeah, exactly.
Sino pa bang sikat nun?
Oh my god, epic rap battles of history.
Epic rap.
I love epic rap. I still listen. Oh my god.
Yeah. My gosh, what else? Oh, there's some like Kev Jumba, AG Raphael. Like all of the Boys Avenue. all of the YouTubers.
Oh my god.
That would be like super YouTubers. Cool. Pero sila,
Alex Good, Kurt Hugo Schneider. Sorry, I'm just going off.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was just saying like but even the next generation are still kind of active, like the Tyler Oakleys.
Yeah. I think they just like settled down. I think they stopped chasing fame and just kind of started doing what they wanted to do.
Yeah, Dan is not on fire, or like Daniel Howard isn't doing much na rin, but like he seems to be doing well with himself.
Exactly. Yeah. I think Ryan like retired his YouTube actually.
He says he's taking a break. I'm very updated with Ryan Higa.
He started he's
a Twitch,
right?
He's a Twitch streamer now. Yeah, that's what he did. RHPC kind of broke up.
Yeah. Will streams also.
Yeah.
Derek's like with the Jabberwockies. Sorry, nobody knows who these people are.
I know. I like that we understand each other though, Dren. I'm so happy.
Sa mga
Shout
Gen
out.
Z na nakikinig.
Exactly.
Like, who are these
Get it.
people?
I only
Who are these
know
people?
like Ninja, Fortnite, or whatever.
Oh gosh.
They only know like TikTokers like that.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah, that
Whoops.
girl.
Yeah, like Feuds isn't even like that famous na rin
Yeah.
with their generation,
Exactly.
which is
Even though
really
he's, like,
sad.
number one. Yeah. It's more of a Mr. Beast. He's the new.
Oh
like,
yeah, Mr.
PewDiePie,
Beast.
Yeah. Who's I love him by the way. He's like a really
Yeah, he's
cool-
great.
Yeah.
I love how this just tangentially went.
Exactly.
Like,
It's all just
YouTuber.
about YouTube.
Naging
Whoops.
YouTuber
Exactly.
YouTube fan
fandom.
fest pala.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Their rewinds have been so bad recently. YouTube.
I
rewinds.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Anyway.
But anyway,
Anyway.
back to DC. Yeah, I mean, definitely, you know, what you Peacemaker isn't like a big name in a comics book or like in the mainstream rather.
Yeah,
But like you can really rely on James Gunn to put that name in a marquee and like make something out of it and make people like that thing. So and he did that with the Suicide Squad, and I'm sure there's a lot of surprises in store on here as well. And we did talk about James Gunn again last week when we revealed Adam Warlock, and I saw a recent photo of
Oh my
Grabe, diba?
god.
He looks so
He looks
good.
so good.
We were like, how will Will Poulter be Adam Warlock? But with that photo, like, yes, period.
Girl. Mm.
I'm sure like
Yeah.
they'll really like parang work him out even further. I don't know. They
Yeah, no,
started
for
filming
sure.
na yata eh.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that will look, but
You
you
can
know,
tell like he just like gained a lot of muscle, and it
Yeah.
helped like.
the
Yeah,
jawline, grab it.
Yeah, no, you can tell like he has like
Sure.
very sharp like his like face muscle are really defined.
Good for him. Plus he's really tall, so like it just accentuates everything. Yeah,
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
he's
Yeah,
like
he's
6'3" or
Oh
something.
my
Yeah.
goodness, he's super tall. Okay.
Yeah.
Can Marvel just like cast me so I can like fix my body weight and all that?
Look at exactly. There's lots of YouTubers that like literally just look at like the Marvel people and just like wow transformations.
The regimen yata is super
Yeah.
intense. Like I saw
It's
like,
really
yeah.
and
So-
it's like borderline. Like they do everything short of steroids to help them like get into shape. So all of like the treatments like electroshock therapy, thermal stuff, like
Crazy, yeah.
I'm sure the older ones get like testosterone replacement as well because you know they're
Damn.
old. So yeah, I feel like they do a lot for their actors. And if it's the only thing you do for like 6 months, right? Work out 4 hours a day for 6 months. I'm sure you'll see a change.
Definitely.
Kumal Nanjani, wow.
Oh my god, that guy.
Yeah, dude.
That guy is like for me. That guy is like okay. Wait, are you taking steroids? Ridiculous. Because that one's like medyo unbelievable in transformation.
That one, I think, like everybody was shocked with like Chris Pratt initially, right? But,
Yes.
like, his
Yeah.
Kumail was just like, it's just the same man. Like,
Yeah, the buff.
yeah, pretty great.
Yeah, I mean the Marvel magic, I guess. And I mean it's not just Marvel, but you really see Marvel it specifically in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I guess. So yeah, I mean back to DC then let's stop talking about Marvel. Peacemaker, yeah. And that's coming out in
Exciting,
January. And it's pretty exciting to see how that will turn out. And HBO Max is putting out a lot of DC related content, including Blue Beetle, the movie, Black Canary, the movie. I think
Yeah.
that girl will also
That's
be
cool.
on HBO Max.
It's the same woman who's playing Black Canary as in the Birds of Prey movie.
Yes, the same actress.
Great.
So it's kind of like a spin-off of Birds of Prey.
Journey Smollett, I think. Yeah.
Journey Smollett, yeah.
Yes. So there aren't a lot of details about those movies, but they're in development and they seem to be developing their own like segment the way Disney Plus is doing for the MCU, but I guess the DCEU with HBO Max as well. And speaking of Suicide Squad, they also I think they released like a video game was that the gameplay trailer or
No, it wasn't the gameplay. It was just like another trailer an extended trailer, I think I would call it, from the first one, and it was great. You see more of the characters. King Shark again is one of my favorite like DC characters ever, and I love how DC has so many different flavors for King Shark. So we had him in the Suicide Squad, and we have him on the Harley Quinn cartoons, and yeah, so great. And even in the Suicide Squad game, he has a different flavor, but it's still like really charismatic and charming.
Like
and
shark's fin. Just kidding.
Oh my gosh, that's so morbid.
I know, right? But yeah, it's interesting because it's in the same universe as the Batman games of Rocksteady. So if you guys are familiar, so it's interesting. So you have characters like Penguin showing up, and of course, since they're fight Justice League, you have to wonder if Batman's going to be here since he's dead in the Arkham games now. So yeah, a lot of interesting things to look forward to with that video game specifically.
And this one is like, I think, exclusive to PS5 or like the newer generation consoles, if I'm right. Or was that
newer gen?
Yeah, so
it's not Sony exclusive. Yeah.
But like without, it doesn't have
because
PS4
if it was
anymore.
Sony exclusive, they would have. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, newer gen consoles now.
Yeah, I mean, for people who would want to play that, I guess you have to upgrade to play those games, right? And I think it's the same for the Arkham Knights. Is that what they call it?
Gotham Knights.
Yeah. Which is
I think
another
so.
game.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, that discusses them in the Court of Owls, which is also an interesting like world in the Batman universe. So I'm excited for that too. Yeah.
And it's nice to like put a spotlight on I think we said this last year, but like to put a spotlight on the Bat family.
Yes.
Pretty cool. And I don't know how to seg to this, but I don't have a witty way of saying that. But from video games, we head back to the movies. And I mean, from TV, video games, we head back to the movies with, they showed a lot of previews of movies that are in production or post-production, and hyping up a lot of the future of the DCEU. And this started with, I guess let's start with Shazam, Fury of the Gods. And this looks pretty exciting. I mean, it's just pretty much like a behind-the-scenes reel, showing, I guess, where they progressed from the first movie, and now having Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu as a part of the cast as the titular gods that are putting fury over the world, I guess. But it looks pretty exciting to see more of the Shazam family. Is that what they call them? Yeah, Shazam family, and in action. Because I think the last movie, right, it was just more of like the finale where they appeared.
Yeah, they just popped up.
Yeah, so I guess we'll get to know more of those other characters in this new one. Thoughts on this one?
I love Shazam. Shazam was like, for me, like, I felt like DC was getting like, oh, it's so dark, and it's always about like pain and suffering, and and it was just like I always felt like they couldn't really find a way to capture the lightness of DC, because I grew up watching, I'm sure we all grew up watching like the original like Justice League, like animated series, and they're really funny there. Like it's dark, heroes die in the Justice League, but it's really, really funny and light. And I think they did a great job of capturing the lightness as well as the darkness in Shazam. And Shazam's a kid, right? Like he's literally a kid in like a superhero's body, so it makes sense that it's that light. So I still think like the tone of the second movie looks good, and it's the same director, which is great, because I just love the choice of DC to go with all these horror directors, because I think horror and comedy are very similar, and like aesthetically it just makes sense for DC. So yeah, really excited for I almost said part 2, the sequel.
I think Shazam really came at the right time and the crucial time in the DCEU. There were a lot of like, I guess, thoughts on how the DCEU would go after the 2018 Whedon-fied Justice League. And when Shazam came out, that kind of gave confidence to the audiences na parang this is something that DC can also do, something light, something fun, and that I hope that really continues on. And I wonder how he'll kind of like fit into the bigger universe also. I mean, there
Oh
was
yeah.
the Superman sort of cameo at the end of the first movie,
Tease.
right? So I wonder how that will fit into the bigger universe, or if there are any plans at all to like cross over some of the characters. I mean, which we'll be talking about later on as well, about the multiverse. Perns and Paula.
Well, I wouldn't mind if Shazam just like stood on its own, you know. It doesn't really seem like the type of movie that needs to connect to the greater DCEU. And I mean, like, let Marvel do all of that interconnectedness stuff, and just like, I like that this is separate. Really, the only thing I can say about Shazam is it threw me off how much older these kids are now. It's like in my head, they were the kids in the first Shazam movie, and now like, oh, they're grown adults. But yeah, should still be fun, and I'm excited for it. Shazam is also in my top 5 DCEU movies. So
Definitely. Perns.
Oh, wala. I have nothing else to add because I mean, yeah, Shazam was a breath of fresh air. But yun nga, I think it's okay with me if it stands alone. If it well, kasi DC might be going in a particular direction now with how they could put the universe together, but they don't really have to because as it's on its own, Shazam did really well. And so far, wala namang indication na he's gonna join.
Yeah.
But I guess it would be exciting to see him if Justice League gets a
It
sequel.
was just
like
that
if,
one. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
if he gets to join the fight against Darkseid, that would be pretty interesting, I guess. Like the more the merrier. Come on, like spoilers, Martian Manhunter is there now, so
Yeah.
if we get to see
Yay.
Shazam as
Yeah.
well, so that would be pretty fun.
I just wanted to say that the only indication that he'll be part of the greater universe is the mentions of Superman movie and the Superman cameo that was cut at the end of Shazam. Yeah. Which was just his chest because they're gonna get Henry Cavill to come back.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But like the credits, like the credits, kasi like they showed na he was hanging out kasi with the Justice League.
Exactly.
So you could take it as like he really hung out with them, or it's just the way, like the fun credits that Spider-Man does. Parang ganun. So
Which version of the Justice League?
Yeah,
That's true. That's the other thing, right? Yeah, that's the other thing.
Like what? I guess given the multiverse at this point, what universe is he even in or on? Right? Like, there's no. I guess that's.
if it's Brandon Routh Superman, I'd be down for that.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
That would be great.
That'd be such a cool reveal.
Yeah.
Ibang Superman pala.
Yeah, exactly. And then like, jumping ahead a little bit, but like, so for example, like Robert Pattinson's Batman has like who was the Superman in Smallville? That guy.
Si ano?
Oh my goodness.
Ah,
Oh, they had a reunion in the fandom.
They did, and they did reveal a Smallville animated series too, right?
Yeah. But yeah, like, yeah, wouldn't that be cool?
Tom
if they just
Welling.
mix and match?
Tom
Tom
Welling.
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 Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
If they just mixed and matched like just actors and stuff, that'd be so cool.
And I mean, they did have that Arrowverse crossover with the whole.
Yeah, that was
multiverse.
great.
Yeah, that was
So
great.
I
good.
mean, that alone shows that DC has a lot to offer, and that it's not the only tied. It's that Marvel isn't the only like franchise that can tie together like everything, and they have something even bigger. Well, I guess now that Marvel has also entered its multiverse, that's kind of like trying to get on that level also. But I mean,
Yeah.
DC has its own wealth of characters and variations of these characters that you can just like, it's endless, right? And speaking of Shazam, this is kind of Shazam adjacent as well. It was also shown in this DC Fandom 2021. Finally some more footage of Black Adam, played by Dwayne Johnson. This another like behind the scenes really vibe, but
Yeah.
it looks pretty cool. I think I've read somewhere that The Rock has been trying to make this happen for the longest
For a
time,
long time.
For a
yeah.
long time.
Really
yeah.
long time.
and now it's here, right? So that's pretty good indication, and it looks pretty awesome. I guess something the other side of like the more sorcery and like magic based DC characters, and I know there's gonna be. I mean, it's not related to Black Adam, but like there's gonna be a Zatanna movie also, right, on HBO Max. So parang they're showing that side as well, the mystical aspects of the DCEU, and I guess what do you call those gods and that kind of mythology. So it gives an interesting spin as well, I guess, because Marvel or MCU only kind of has like the Norse mythology with Thor and all, but here it's different naman din for Shazam and Black Adam. Any thoughts on the Black Adam reveal?
Oh well, I was more surprised by the cast than anything else. I forgot that
I know,
Pierce Brosnan is
yeah.
here.
I know you have
And
a
of-
specific casting.
Yeah, and I was just very confused with the presence of Noah Centineo. I mean, like, it was just a question. I have nothing against him. It was really just a question. Like, why is he here? And the snarky dude on Twitter replied to me with, because he's part of the cast. Like, great. That's not my question, but
Exactly.
sure.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I'm excited for doing The Rock Johnson, and I'm always happy to see him in any movie. So yeah,
And he
Should be
seems
fun.
super passionate about this
He does.
project
Yeah, he is.
for sure.
Yeah.
it's a passion
Yes.
project of his.
Uh-huh.
I see.
Yeah.
It seems like. Yeah. So
He's I don't want to say roiding up because I don't think he's on steroids, but he's
it's like Jack. That's how.
he's getting like mega jacked again. So he's like
So
getting
jacked.
Again.
all the injections of testosterone and everything to get fit into this role because like he looks bigger. Like how did you get bigger?
he really looks like a boulder at this point.
Exactly. Like dudes, like what are you doing? Yeah, I'm sure he's getting some kind of treatment, but you know, again, he looks great, and I think like it's always a good sign when the people working on the movie are excited about it, and it's not just him. Like I think a lot of people are really excited about it,
Yeah.
and Black Adam's like not a very popular superhero. Again, it's just like
Uh-huh.
Shazam and everything. Like nobody, I didn't really know who he was until I saw like Injustice.
Yeah,
Um,
same.
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 yeah, right.
Same.
And it was like, who? And then they had the logo on his chest, the same as Shazam. And I'm like, who's this guy? So yeah, but I like the fact that he's like not really a hero. Also, he's like kind of like half, like he still like kills people and stuff. Which I'm just excited to see like how are they gonna pull off such a dark universe? And I think Black Adam's such a perfect like entry into that. Like in the teaser, spoilers if you haven't seen the teaser, he kills a guy. Just straight up, he just murders a guy for no reason. So I really hope like the rest of the movie is kind of similar to that. Not just him killing people, but like kind of an ambiguous anti-hero type deal as well.
And parang at the same time, Pierce Brosnan nga was saying in that teaser na parang, you know, I did James Bond for
Bond.
10 years, 4 movies, but this is kind of like the most challenging and exciting role that he's been in. So that's something to say, and that's saying a lot from Pierce Brosnan himself. So that seems pretty interesting to see.
It'd be fun
how-
if you cut the like an over the shoulder and just on a teleprompter in front of him. This is the most exciting.
we
And he
would
played a
know.
centaur. Wouldn't that be like exciting also?
Ooh, come on, man. Sorry. Yeah.
One Percy Jackson.
And speaking of lightning bolts, from Shazam
Nice.
to
Very
Black
nice.
Adam,
So
now we
good.
go to the most popular lightning character in the DC extended universe, or DC universe in particular, which is The Flash. Finally, it's happening. The Flash by Andy Muschietti, starring Ezra Miller as not just one, but two Flashes
two
this time
Flash.
around. We don't even know if it's just 2 Flashes. on this
Yeah.
movie. But this they finally showed us some footage of the Flash and kind of like going into that Flashpoint storyline of trying to change how things were when he tried to stop his mom from being killed, and now it changed everything, or basically reset the universe or made some new universes. And I guess, as we spoke about in that last DC fandom episode as well, that this is really opens up the multiverse even more and to a mainstream audience, trying to explain why everything is a thing, why there's a Joker, why there are Robert Pattinson and Ben Affleck.
Affleck,
I was
yeah.
about to say Ben Batfleck.
Then that's like
Affleck, yeah. Well,
Affleck.
Batfleck, and of course in this the Flash movie will be the return of Michael Keaton as
Keaton.
Batman.
Keaton.
And also Batfleck will be in this movie as well,
Yeah.
but we
Yeah.
did not see any Batfleck footage
in the
so
trailer.
far. And
well, we saw his head.
the head or the cowl or
the
both?
cowl though. It was a cowl.
Yeah, wasn't it? But wasn't there like blood? Wasn't it like?
Yeah, I thought
was
it
a
was like a
different-
decapitated head.
I was like, is that better? I'm like,
right?
yeah.
But speaking, I mean, I think I saw an article about Ben Affleck talking about his experience on The Flash, kind of reviving his parang passion, or not just, I mean,
Yeah.
not passion, but I guess his interest in playing the
Yeah, in the
character.
role. Yeah.
Like it was better here though. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Probably because he wasn't like, just a poorly written character.
But I think, yeah, I guess I hope that this offers Batfleck a renewed sense of like character and how fans will like receive him this time around, because the last three movies starring Batfleck weren't necessarily fan favorites. Or was it two or three? Well, technically, Batfleck did appear in Ayer's Suicide Squad, so you can say three. But anyway, Batfleck will be there, and we also got our first look as Sasha Cal. Is that how we pronounce it? As this
Supergirl.
version of Supergirl, a different variation or different Supergirl than what we're used to with the Melissa Benoist version on the DC TV universe or the Arrowverse. To our resident DC fan, Dren, what do you have to say about the Flash trailer?
The Flash is like my favorite superhero, like all time. Also like in terms of powers and everything. So I've always like wanted the Flash movie to happen since like Batman versus Superman or something, because that was when it was first announced, I think, because they had that whole like Lois is the key. And immediately I was one of those people in the cinema that was like, that's Flashpoint, that has to be Flashpoint. And then like, cut to like how many years later they're finally doing it. I just have so many like worries about it, because like Ezra Miller is such a strange guy, and he's like also problematic. So it's like I don't even know if I like him that much as well. And his Flash is so like it's almost too dorky, for my taste. I think he like there's a level of cool to Flash. He's like a very like cool nerd. He's like the greatest detective next to Batman in the DC universe as well. And then like in this universe, he's just kind of like this dumb kid. Like they don't really show how smart he is. He's almost like the Spider-Man to Tony Stark. Like Batman Flash's relationship is kind of like Tony Stark Spider-Man in the MCU, but they don't really show that except for Batman telling him he's rich. So yeah, I just have a lot of like question marks for this. The script has been rewritten literally like half a dozen times as well. Ezra Miller took a shot at the script at one point and was rejected. So that's how like difficult it is to make this movie. I also like understand it's very, very hard to balance the Flash, because in theory, like currently, unless they do like some crazy Superman alpha version of Superman, he's like the most powerful hero in the DC universe. There was a moment in the Snyderverse where literally everything got blown up and died, and he was able to fix everything. So how do you write a hero that's also the fascinating thing about the Flash for me, and I think that's the key to the movie as well, is will they talk about the philosophy behind the Flash? He's a man out of time. He is a man who can go anywhere, do anything, but also can't because he'll mess up everything. And that's the thing he has to realize in the movie is that if he goes back and fixes the timeline, he will mess up everything else. There's also that scene in the trailer where he's looking at a guy that's kind of chained up, and I'm assuming that's Superman because in the Flashpoint universe, Superman gets captured by the US government and exposed to a red sun. He never gets his powers, etc. And he goes crazy. Same thing with Michael Keaton's Batman. I'm assuming that's Thomas Wayne. There's a lot of allusions to Flashpoint, but I hope the thing that they get most specifically is Flash's realization that he can't do whatever he wants with his powers. It's again, I compare him to Spider-Man the most because it's with great power comes great responsibility. Flash could do whatever he wants. He could go to any timeline, kill whoever, etc. He could kill Superman if he wanted to, but he can't because there are rules. And the other thing is I'm very expectant about how this is going to change the overall DC universe because in the original Flashpoint as well, he gets all the lines on his suit and stuff. So it implies that even though he fixes the timeline by allowing his mom to die, something changes in the current Flashpoint. So what will they do? How will they reboot it? Will they find a way to, reconcile all of the differing superheroes they have in their universe, like Robert Pattinson and Ben Affleck, and now Michael Keaton? They're all canon. I'm a very hesitant. Go Flash because there's just so many expectations and question marks. But I'm hoping it's good.
And to add to that, there's really a lot of weight on this to really not just be a Flash movie, but be the DCEU movie that kind of switches or pivots the direction of the whole universe, multiverse, and try to make sense of everything. So there's a lot of pressure, I think, in terms of what they're gonna do with this. And I'm pretty sure there's more than just the two Batmans on here. Maybe there's more in store. Maybe Christian Bale will appear. Who knows?
That'd be great. I want Grant Gustin to make a cameo.
Yes,
yeah.
I mean,
return the favor. Yeah.
exactly. But who knows how they will turn out? But definitely, it's pretty exciting to see the Flash. I think the Flash is one of Paula's favorites.
Yeah, I mean, the Flash is like Dren said.
I think we talked about this last year also.
He's
we love the Flash.
to Spider-Man, and what Spider-Man is as Marvel's poster boy. I think the Flash is for DC. So he has that lovable quality in him. But I'm worried about this film as I am excited, but I'm also worried because they haven't set up the Flash's character enough for you to be invested in him wanting to go back to save his mom, the way that the Flash TV series has done. So let's see where it goes. And I'm really probably gonna watch it more for Keaton than anything else. Which is funny because before we were set to watch the trailer with my whole extended family, my uncle was going on about how he missed Keaton, and he had no idea that Keaton is gonna be in the Flash. And he's like, he's still my favorite Batman. Nothing beats that. And then he sees the opening credits of that Wayne house of Keaton series, and he was just super excited.
God, that's so
it's
cool.
good for everybody.
I mean, yun ang maganda rin eh. Parang DC has that so much to tap into in their history since they've been making, I guess, these features longer than Marvel has been successful. I mean, in terms of before the MCU era, it was a lot of popular DC franchises in movies. So, and Batman was kind of the James Bond of movies in terms of superheroes, where you'd have all these different actors playing Batman, and you'd want to see how they have their own version of Batman as well. Anything last Flash before we head on to speaking of Batman, of course, this latest iteration of Batman is finally revealed with a second trailer, which is the Batman. I guess they were too lazy to come up with a subtitle. They just called it The Batman, just like The Suicide Squad. But this is year one Batman with Robert Pattinson, or Pattinson.
Pattinson, Robert.
Robert.
Cedric.
Cedric but alive. Just kidding.
No, please. That's my boy.
No, I'm going to cry, Amos.
Damn,
Oh
dude.
no. Right.
Yeah, I mean, we get more glimpses of this new Batman and how, and for the first time ever, it's, I guess, this element of being the Batman, being a rookie Batman, and not really being the most like feared vigilante out there. And it's just like we also get glimpses of the Riddler, Penguin, and of course Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman. And it seems pretty great with the music as well. I think Prince had a tweet about that too. Go guys, Batman time. It's
I talked to my resident like Batman expert earlier today. So Joms. Hi Joms. And he just wanted to mention how, yeah, again, it's so cool that we're going back to year one Batman. I think some of the best Batman comics have been like in the time where he was still like fairly new to being Batman and had no idea how to be a detective and thought that solving everything with a punch would be able to do it. So I'm super excited to see that. As John said, also we're all very excited to see this version of Catwoman, because what Nolan does for his Batman trilogy is he grounds it into a reality, which you can still see as well in this iteration of the Batman, but it still has that, like, I wouldn't say like extra, but like I guess more comic version of Catwoman and the Penguin, that they still have that quirkiness to them, I guess, that wasn't like super delved into in the Nolan trilogy. So that's definitely exciting to see. I'm still not sure with Rob Pat's hair in this Batman iteration.
I would have to agree.
Right? But everything else seems super exciting. It feels like I'm watching a comic movie, like an animated comic movie just like come to life. So that's great.
And yeah, I mean, this is probably like the start of, I mean, if this does well, and I guess it's kind of like heading there, might be a start of a new Batman franchise. And it actually has started with Gotham PD, which is going to be a TV show on HBO Max as well, which is, I think, set before the time Batman is even Batman. And I think it's more on like Gotham and how they deal with these Batman rogue gallery. And
it's like the series
So
Gotham.
like Gotham.
Yeah.
Like
Gotham?
Like Gotham.
Or is it more
Pretty
like
much.
focused on
So
Gordon?
annoying.
I think may Gordon I'm not too sure if there's a Gordon element, because I think that was more the Gotham Gotham show.
Yeah, that's also what Gotham did. Like they
Oh, yeah.
tried to
The
focus on
hot Gordon. Hot Gordon.
It's so funny. It's just like so Gotham. It's so funny. It's just funny because it feels like they're just remaking everything.
Or would it be like Thomas Wayne eras?
True,
Like,
maybe.
that would be cool.
That would be very
be-
cool.
yeah.
Yeah. Free Batman. Actually, free Batman. Just a twinkle in his mother's eye. What do you call this? I'm so excited for this because I love Robert Pattinson so much. Like, he's so good in everything he does. From Cedric to freaking like a masturbating sailor. Like, he can do it. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. He'll do it.
Twilight included? Yes.
Yes, Twilight. Come on
Of
now.
course.
He did what he could. So
Yeah. I feel like the thing that really encouraged me when I saw the teaser, since you guys covered most of what was in the content mismo, was the interview with Robert Pattinson, and he was talking about how he didn't really want to do the role until he read the script, and he was like, oh, this is different, this isn't like the same Batman. And he also mentioned what you mentioned, Cholo, na there's something about Batman that he was the only like prominent superhero in the 20th century. Like, he just kept popping up because there was just something about him that was interesting. So I like that this Batman is like angry and brooding and everything, and will not be like the calm, composed Batman that we know. Because like like he's like 20 something, and then both, you know what I mean? Like he, as a child, like both his parents pass away in such a violent way right in front of him. Like he's a damaged guy. So I'm really excited for them to tackle that, and I'm really excited that it. The other thing that they said in the interviews, because it was James Gunn and Robert Pattinson. So Robert Pattinson mentioned all the Batman stuff, and James Gunn said he really liked that there were a lot of Batman movies, but what he didn't like, or what he thought was missing, was the opposite side of the superhero Batman, the human side of Batman, because he was becoming more and more of a superhero, and he wanted to see the dude in the suit, the normal guy. So that's what I'm really excited to see.
Is it fair to say that this Batman lives in that society, in the society?
Yeah, we'll see. I live in a society. Yeah, just old like Joaquin Phoenix comes out.
Who knows, right? Who knows which Batman and Joker are paired together at this point? And that movie was called The Joker, right? So maybe it's the
Joker.
universe.
Yeah,
Just Joker, right?
It's just Joker.
It's Joker.
Viva the
It's just
Joker, yun. Joker
It was just
lang.
called Joker. It was just called
Okay,
Joker.
so that might not be the universe.
I'm sure they'll remake it and be like the Joker. Yeah.
Kasi Pia Wurtzbach is actually part of that universe because she said the universe rather.
Ay, nako.
Ano ba yan?
Alright.
Badumtis. Okay. Pearls, any bat feelings? Bat feelings?
Bad feelings. Wala. Like, it looks very well. Like, I talked to this with my editor. Like, Batman na naman. But at the same time, we're still gonna watch it anyway because it looks different. It feels different. For some reason, we know it's gonna be different. Like, they're gonna treat Bruce differently. Like, iba yung how he talks to Alfred, who I'm really excited for. Anti-Circus.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, how their relationship feels different. How Batman does his Batman stuff feels different. Like, he's attacking right now. He's attacking these people in makeup for no reason. He's taking on gunfire, so much gunfire
In the dark alleyway,
in the dark alley. In which I must say that dark alley is so reminiscent of the Darth Vader scene in Rogue One. Apparently, because it's the same DP pala. The same director.
Oh.
That's
But
cool.
pero ang angas, diba? So, it's so different. Ang ganda ng ano niya. And my God, the music is amazing. Like, what makes Batman so good kasi is the music attached to him. So, like, when you think of Tim Burton's Batman, you hear that, and then you hear Nolan's Batman, that
Yeah.
drop bass ni Hans Zimmer. And then, I don't know what Affleck is. They just reuse na lang of Tim Burton. But this one, what Michael Giacchino does, he gives a new talaga, and it fits the kind of Batman that Pattinson is about to give us. And when you see that title card, he's upside down, chills, and you see that when the title card comes out, the bat is jagged. It's rough, and that's exactly the kind of Batman we're gonna see. He's not yet perfect. This is his second year pa lang in becoming and his relationship with Gordon, who is the Watcher, Jeffrey Wright. It could be
Because he's about to ask the question, what if?
What if?
Yeah,
What
but
if
like,
Robert
What
Pattinson
if Robert Pattinson was
Batman?
Batman?
there's so much to be excited for talaga, and I have faith in Matt Reeves and what he's gonna do here. Like,
Planet of the Apes.
I have faith in Matt Reeves. Like, this is gonna work somehow. It will work.
Yes.
Let's go.
So that is the Batman, and we're excited. It's coming in March 2022, right?
Yeah. Yeah, very soon. Very soon.
Hopefully theaters, and I mean not just theaters opening, but like a better society.
Yeah.
Or
Did you
like,
guys see that? Did you guys see that Power Plant is gonna screen Eternals? They're gonna reopen in time for Eternals.
Yeah.
everyone's reopening on November 10th, right? Or are they
Yeah, I
opening
think so.
earlier than that?
No, well, the ones that I've seen, they're all planning on November 10th because they're all like cleaning the cinemas and getting ready with those smoke machines. I don't know what they do. I'm sure they do something for COVID.
Good luck to
You
us
have
all,
to.
I guess.
Yeah.
Hazmat suits prepared. Let's go, guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
definitely the Eternals said they wouldn't like they wouldn't what's that? They wouldn't interfere with
Won't
anything, but I
interfere.
guess they're
Yeah.
interfering with COVID now.
Yes.
So
Yes.
The power.
the power of
Please.
the Eternals
Save
will
us.
save us all. But anyway, again, back to just to close up this DC fandom segment, I guess, or I guess which is mainly the show, essentially. Yeah, a lot to look forward to. March 2022 is when we'll see the Batman. We'll see the Peacemaker series first in January, and we'll see the rest after the Batman. So that's a lot of exciting things to watch out for. And speaking of, we were talking about music. Speaking of music, we were talking about this last week as well, but we can't not talk about her once again after she just dropped everything and made us all emotional on a Good Friday, like just on a Good Friday, Sad Friday, whatever you want to call October 15th. Adele is back officially with the song Easy on Me, and in fact, did not go easy on us. And
Yeah.
literally, Queen Adele broke so many records, being the number one most streamed track and artist on Spotify in one day upon release, with over 40 million streams on the first day. And she just had so many all kills across number ones across all different platforms, maybe Spotify, Apple, etc., etc. I think she also had like 96 number ones on iTunes. So that I think that puts her on another record on iTunes. I think tied with Justin Bieber or something. So that's the power of Adele. You're gone 6 months or six years
6
rather.
years.
You're gone 6 years without any activities at all, but you return like a queen, being welcomed back into the throne with all these achievements. And this is only just one track of the album 30. What more will the album bring to us again? But basically, essentially, I was just really just wow, that song. I mean, definitely it's about divorce, baby, divorce, as she said. But like, even if you're not someone going through divorce with your husband or with a child, you'd feel those. Adele has that certain like way of getting into your emotions, whatever you're going through. For me, it was work. I was like, work, please go easy on me. And that was really like my theme song last Friday and every day soon after. What did you guys think about Adele's comeback from last week?
Oh, well, I was messaging you that
Yeah.
this is the only thing I've been listening to the whole day, and yeah, every day since then. I don't really have anything more to add to what you said. She's amazing, and I'm so glad that this song exists, that this album exists, and I hope I hope everything goes easy on Adele. She deserves it.
And I mean, she just looks fantastic, amazing,
Oh,
absolutely
God,
stunning.
oh my God.
Everything. She is
Her
everything.
Vogue interviews are just like the best thing ever. She's great.
And parang I saw this video interview of Adele revealing that she only takes one take of each song, and that's it. She doesn't like to repeat it, and that's the track that we hear. Like, talk about vocals, talk about range. Like, wow, how do you not do that? Or how do you do that? Period. She says she doesn't feel like it's real anymore if you do a retake. So parang that's the explanation to that.
Wild. Good for her.
I'm just imagining how prepared do I have to be when that full album comes out. Like,
You have a
Do I-
month, just a little less of a month to prepare yourself for the saddest girl autumn ever.
Depressed girl autumn.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Any last Adele thoughts? We just really want to put Adele on the spotlight once again because she just blew everyone away. And definitely we'll probably have a whole Adele episode coming your way as well. And speaking of going easy on us, Adele was recently ito na yung showbiz chika na pag-uusapan natin. Kasi nabanggit si Adele dun eh. Just this whole Alger Abrenica and
Oh my
Kylie
goodness.
Padilla
Oh
issue
God!
that's going. I mean, there's been so many allegations in the
Ah,
past few weeks about Alger Abrenica and Kylie's relationship. Na Alger Abrenica like being a punching bag for like being like a person who cheated in the relationship essentially, and he just broke his silence like 2 days ago as we record this and said na we had parang TLDR. He was essentially like hey Kylie, I thought that parang when will you take your part in this narrative? Tapos parang sabi niya na may usapan daw kasi sila na parang they're not gonna be public about it and what went down, but I think Kylie and Robin Padilla were very vocal at some points, and Alger was still respecting that agreement between them to not go public. But I guess he was just tired of getting all those comments about being the bad ex-husband and all that he just had to speak out. And in response to that, Kylie Padilla just had all these cryptic Instagrams. Not even cryptic. It's
hindi na cryptic eh.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
obviously about the issue. Having Easy on Me by Adele and like Happier Than Ever by Billie Eilish. Ano pa yung mga other songs? There are a lot of other songs in those like Instagram stories by Kylie Padilla. And it's really just like, Pinoy showbiz. It can't get any more showbiz
And
than
then,
this, right?
She tweeted pa yung past the divorce bill.
Yeah.
I was
No,
like, oh my-
that's no, you didn't see. Yeah, she tweeted like,
I was
"I'm
like,
pro
oh.
divorce bill" and
I
stuff.
was like,
And I
oh
was
my
like,
God.
yeah.
And this is also hot off the heels of the Paula Contes LJ Reyes
Oh,
controversy
yung
of
pa.
Baguio with a friend mga 2 weeks ago also. So, with a friend, take it lightly in this era of in this generation.
That's so
What does
sad.
being a friend mean anymore? And Filipino showbiz, everyone. And any thoughts on that whole thing? I think Kylie actually has a show ongoing, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be very careful. uh,
True.
so, yes, we're doing a show with her right now. My group, my company. Man, my phone was exploding when that statement came out. I can't. I won't like obviously comment on anything that's happening. We don't know anything as much as anyone else does. That'd be messed up if we just asked like Kylie, like, hey, ano ba yung totoo? Like, we don't know anything. We're just leaving it between them. So we don't know anything. What I do know is that Kylie's been lovely to work with, really good to work with, and like, how do I put this? I just hope like the best for both of them. That's always what I hope for in these situations. There's also like controversy in the K drama world right now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Um,
yes.
And it's really sad to see. I mean, it's always like one of those things where you always hate to see it because sayang yung potential actor or actress and stuff. But you're always but obviously you want them to be held accountable and you want them to become better. So if that means disappearing for a while, becoming a better person, then so be it. And I don't think that should be a big problem. But I do think that there should be a chance for redemption for whoever. It's just, in this particular situation, we don't know what's true and what's not. So
Definitely.
yeah, it's just one of those things that I just hope that they work it out and it's not just like this weird stabbing each other in public, like front stabbing each other in public type thing. That's the only thing I really hope for. And yeah, the show's called Betchin. It's streaming for free on WeTV. It's the main premise of the story is that Beth and Cindy are two social media influencers who are on the verge of a breakup, but right as they're about to break up, they are encouraged to join this contest called #relationship goals, which in which so essentially after that they have to fake their relationship from then on because they're not happy with each other anymore, but they want to win the prize of the contest, so they have to fake the relationship, and it's really funny. I'm not just saying that because I worked on it. It's really funny. It's great. It's a really good show, and if you guys just want like a fun, like lighthearted show, it's about that, and it's a breakup story, so relevant question mark. So yeah.
Yeah, and parang I guess to parang connected to the Kim Son-ho issue that's going around social media now. Apparently as early as Saturday, October 18th, there's this whole controversy of Kim Son-ho being dropped by all his shows, all his endorsements, because of the allegations of another actress of being who was in a relationship with him, and I think may talks na he coerced her into having an abortion, and that kind of affected their relationship. And I guess with the popularity kasi of Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha, which just ended last weekend, it was kind of coming. You know how it's parang the timing is always like that in terms of Korean scandals, and I think that kind of shows the stark difference also of how scandals are taken in terms of Philippines and Korea. Kasi sa Pilipinas parang sige pagpiestahan pa natin yung drama ng dalawa. Parang sige okay, let them have their shows, whatever, let's just bask in this showbiz realness. But in Korea, like, everyone just drops you right. There's no investigation. There's no
reputation is so important.
Yeah, and parang Kim Son-ho is really one of the rising opas, as you would call them in today's generation, after Startup, Team Good Boy, and all that, and now with Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha. So
not Good Boy.
Apparently not.
Sadness.
It's always the parang good looking or parang good boy image that kind of like throws you off in the end, right? But we don't know.
I was about to say like
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, just making sure.
But I honestly I wasn't Team Good Boy on that show anyway. So, but I mean I don't know too much about the issue. But I just wanna show or kind of talk about how the differences between what scandals are, because scandals in Korea can be just really like shallow things or things that are this big, like allegations about such things, right? So, I mean, a lot of people are sad, definitely, but I guess investigations will continue muna from this point on, and he will have his comeback who knows when, because we don't know what the truth is yet at this point. So yeah, Dren, I know you're also into the K world. Any thoughts on Kim Son-ho?
Yeah, I how do I put this? Like, it's always one of those, like I said a while ago, it always sucks, because saying yung potential nila. But he essentially admitted that he did it. And that's just like horribly disappointing. I just really hope that he doesn't disappear completely. I hope he takes some time to reflect and realize that he made a horrible mistake. It also sucks because it feels like the ex-girlfriend also kind of did this like out of spite as well. It doesn't feel like she did it to get justice for anything. It feels like she really just did it to ruin his career. So I guess may kasalanan din siya in that sense, but of course also she's a victim, so I feel for her, and I'm glad that she was able to get this off her chest. So it's the same thing with the Kylie issue, where it's like I just hope the best for both of them. I hope that they both get to move on and get what they deserve, and then they can both just move on and grow from it. And yeah, sana naman like in a few years we'll see Good Boy again, and he'll actually be a good boy. Always want to hope. I don't know. I always feel like I'm very optimistic about these sort of things. I just hope that they end up like happy. Yeah.
I made the right choice of being Team Dosan. But that's a TV show, and not real life.
Yeah.
Just really quickly though, want to doesn't matter when you come out with your I'm sure it was hard for her to see him get so much success knowing what he did to her. So should never be a question of when a victim chooses to come out with their story.
Yeah.
Definitely. And yeah, I mean, we'll see. Same thing happened also, I guess, on the K-pop front. A lot of allegations kasi against Lucas of NCT/Wavy. But it's a pretty shallow scandal if you'd ask me. And now there are parang it popped out like end of August. And now a lot of evidence is appearing na parang that debunks that scandal that canceled him in the first place. So, you know, it's that cancel culture also. Na, not to discount what the girl said about Kim Jong-Un, but like, you know, there are investigations din kasi to put out, but you know, that's what the internet is for, I guess, to put out all the different angles and different elements of the story. And hopefully we find the truth at the end of the day. But what is the truth? And that's a different episode altogether.
Wow. Insane.
And that ends our episode of this newscast about the truth. And speaking of the truth, naiba na rin pala yung Superman motto, diba? Just going back to DC to close this.
Wow.
I'm gonna search up the new Superman motto. It's
Truth, justice, and
it's now Truth, Justice, and a Better Tomorrow.
A Better Tomorrow, yeah.
It used to be Truth, Justice,
American
and
Way.
the American Way. I guess Superman just like really didn't want to be American at this point.
Technically, he isn't.
I mean, true. He is Kryptonian American.
He's an immigrant.
He is.
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
But yeah, just to close off, definitely final word of this main show is like, you know, that's what we live for, to find truth, justice, and a better tomorrow.
And a better
Oh my god. That's what this podcast is all about.
Yes, exactly. As we talk about showbiz chismis, we still want truth, justice, and a better tomorrow.
We definitely want the truth. We definitely want the truth for all of this.
Yeah, definitely.
Justice for whoever
was victimized.
Wrong.
True.
And a better tomorrow for all of them.
Yeah.
True. Also true.
That will be the title of this episode.
I thank you.
Welcome to Miss Universe 2021.
Hi, Miss Universe Pele.
And with that, we head to our final segment of the show, which is our pop stop or our pop culture recommendations of the week. I will begin with mine. We talked about this last week already, but I just watched the finale. I'm not sure if Paula already did, but Only Murders in the Building. Wow. Great show. Just watch it. It's underrated and it deserves so much more love. And that finale just like was a cherry on top of that ice cream, sundae, cake, whatever it is. Just watch it. And we haven't spoken about this on the show yet, but Star Wars Visions came out. And it's just like really what Star Wars, the future of Star Wars, I guess. And there were 9 episodes, if I'm not mistaken, or 10. And it was from a different Japanese animation studio, and each had its own different style of approaching Star Wars, yet still remaining very true to the core of what Star Wars is, more than our favorite movie of the saga, which is The Rise of Skywalker, or whatever.
I don't know that movie. I've never seen that.
We don't
movie. I don't want to
recognize
talk about it.
The sequel trilogy ended with The Last Jedi.
Exactly.
100%.
Thank you.
But yeah, Star Wars Visions just kind of gives you a renewed hope, a new hope, if you would say, for the Star Wars universe, and how much more stories could develop in terms of not just the Skywalker saga, not just the Mandalorian world, but even far beyond that, and what they could do with it. And I hope that with Star Wars Visions, there will be more short stories, or even like small portions of the Star Wars universe that will be explored further. And I think it's starting with whose trilogy will be the next Star Wars trilogy? I forget. Was it
I don't know.
the
There's so many.
the Game of
Another
Thrones
trilogy?
writers?
Is it?
Um,
I'm not sure.
I'm not
Trilogy?
sure which one is next.
Yeah, I was about to
but-
say I don't know.
But
I can't
yeah,
keep
there isn't any word kasi of Star Wars in the future as much as we know of Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
General, I guess they're really like trying to rebuild where a lot of fans got parang disheartened with Tross. But I mean there were the Mandalorian, of course, the popularity of Grogu, and the Book of Boba Fett that's coming later this year, I believe. So I mean that's still in that universe of the Skywalker saga. So it's definitely very refreshing to see a different side through Star Wars visions. So that's my recommendation. One last, of course, can't not talk about Ben and Ben and their new collaboration with a Taiwanese artist this time. They're really like going global, and this one is called Cheap Love with a Taiwanese artist called Waybird. It's a really parang melancholic song, and if you're into the Hugot vibe, this is an English track and definitely fits where Ben and Ben fits in the Hugot hearts of Pinoys. And a lot of Waybird I've been listening to because of this, and a lot of good stuff too. He has a mix of like Mandarin and English songs. So if you're looking for other Asian artists to discover, then he's a good one to start with as well with this collaboration with Ben and Ben. Who wants to go next?
Oh, I can go next. So speaking of Only Murders in the Building, I started listening to an actual true crime podcast. And it's such an interesting one. It follows this cold case that when he started recording, it was 23 years since the incident happened. And as of today, because of the podcast and the popularity that it had, they actually made an arrest, and the main suspect is now headed to trial in a few weeks. So after 25 years, this family hopefully gets the justice that they deserve. It's called Your Own Backyard. It's so well produced. The creator and producer of the podcast, he started out like not knowing anything about researching and journalism, but he was and still is an audio engineer, a sound engineer, and that's the beauty of the show. It's so well crafted and it sounds so amazing. Every episode gives me the chills. So if you want to do something while you're washing the desk or cleaning the house, it's perfect. It's so good. And of course, it helps tell the story of this poor girl. And yeah, it's so good. And I understand now the hype of true crime podcast outside of Only Murders in the Building. But
Yes.
aside from
Listen to
aside from-
Serial also if you haven't yet.
Yes, that's on my list also. I have a lot of true crime podcasts to get into, but yeah, I'm happy I started with this one. Also, Discovery Plus recently launched in the Philippines a couple of weeks ago. So get on that if you guys know they have a good promo now.
It's pretty cheap.
Yeah, pretty cheap. 129 pesos for a year's subscription. So that's great. And I have been binge watching Crikey, It's the Irwins. I loved Crocodile Hunter as a kid, as I'm sure so many of us did. And it's so wonderful to see the Irwin family continue Steve's legacy long past his death. I cry every time Bindi and Robert mention their father, and it's just a super good, like feel-good show, but at the same time so filled with emotion because of how much passion this family has for the environment, for animals. So that's great. And then I would be remiss not to recommend that everybody watch the American Grand Prix this Monday. It's at 3 a.m., but I just watch it, guys. It's looking to be a really interesting race. So there you go. F1 still like has a hold on my heart. So that's me.
And speaking of streaming services, Disney Plus is like really starting their rollout
Yeah, for their
Ooh,
Asia.
no, sorry.
So that's something to look forward to. I think in early 2022, the official rollout of Disney Plus in the Philippines, because I think the site is active na in the Philippines as well. So yeah, something to look forward to for Disney fans out there who have been waiting for the longest time. Next person.
Sige, I can go. Konti lang. Like, what I will recommend is, I just watched Dune a few days ago.
Ooh.
And
How was it?
okay. This is what I'll say. I went into it blind. Like, I completely didn't want to know anything about it. And I, without giving anything away, like, I really enjoyed it. But what I will recommend is, for people who want to watch it, I recommend you watch it in a cinema, because it was clearly made the way it was created. Yung pagkagawa niya, especially the sound design and the score, pang sine talaga siya. And I know right now it's not safe. Like, even when cinemas open, like say on November 10, it's not safe. I encourage everyone, pag safe na lahat, watch Dune in the cinema. Like,
Let's
I'm
watch
beginning to
Dune in 2024. Yes.
I'm beginning to understand why Denis Villeneuve said watch it in the cinema. Like, he didn't just mean it na because the obviously, but like it's the type of movie na cinematic experience in the thing niya, and I can really see it. He created that way. Like, if you guys have seen Arrival and Blade Runner 2040, his past movies, the same level of detail and filmmaking, ganun yung binigay niya rito. And the world building here, for such a thick book that I have not read, and for a novice like me who knows nothing, I was amazed. Like, I haven't seen this really good world building in a while. So yun nga, watch Dune in the biggest screen possible once it is safe. And second, and my last recommendation is, Anya Taylor-Joy released cover versions of the song Downtown for her newest movie, Last Night in Soho. Yes. She released two versions, an upbeat, which is almost the same as the original by the original one was by, I forgot her name. It was in 1965. The original was by
Billy Joel. Mali, Uptown pala yun. Joke.
Petula Martin, yun, Petula. And there's also a downbeat version. It's slowed down, 5 minutes.
Downbeat.
And I think this is the version that appears in the movie. This is what she sings in the movie talaga. And like, wow, I didn't think it was possible for me to fall in love with her even more.
But I think we all sing. Just kidding.
So yun. If you guys, while waiting for Last Night in Soho to be available in the Philippines, whether in cinemas or on streaming, listen to Anya Taylor-Joy's songs. It's already up on Spotify, and both versions are pretty good. Like, ang ganda ng vocals na, in fairness. And particularly for the downbeat version, the production, it was produced by the composer Stephen Price, who usually works with Edgar Wright sa mga movies niya, like Baby Driver and World's End. So, very well made, very well sung. So, yun nga. I love you, Anya Taylor-Joy, please. I love you. Please reply to me someday.
manifest.
I know.
Or if she prefers, te amo mucho, te amo mucho.
Yeah, I'll just be quick. So I'm gonna recommend a show called Betchin. It's really. I mean, I'm gonna recommend both our shows. Screw it. We have two shows ongoing right now. One's called Pasabay, about a couple who falls in love during the pandemic, and at the end of the show, or towards the end of the show, they begin to wonder if the love was real or if it was just because of the pandemic they were stranded together. That sort of thing. Betchin is about.
Are they like online sellers?
No. They meet at the Pasabay, so they both order from the same person. That's how they bond. They're not the ones selling. Sila yung bumibili. That's how they meet each other.
So that's your meet cute.
Yeah, when's my meet cute gonna happen? Please.
Watch
Waiting.
pasabay. Wow.
Watch it. Get inspo.
Talaga.
I've watched
Um,
so many of these things, and I'm still single. So, sa mga nakikinig dyan, joke.
Wow, grabe. Um, yeah, Betsin, as I mentioned a while ago, it's a girls' love story about two women who are on the brink of a breakup and just find reasons to stay, and then I think we can all see where that story is going from there. So yeah, those are the two stories, the two series that I'll recommend. I really enjoyed them both. For the music, man, do I even listen to music anymore? Have we recommended Red Velvet's comeback? Somebody has, right?
We have, yeah, like
yeah.
3 weeks
Okay.
ago.
So recommend it again. That's fine.
Yes, I'll recommend it again. Red Velvet, finally came back after like 2 years of not coming back with a single, which is like such a painful wait for so many K-pop fans, considering most groups like release 4 different like songs a year, or 3 at least different songs a year. So yeah, they're back. It's a great song. ITZY also released a song called Loco.
Which sounds like Busted from
It does sound like Busted, which is why it's so good. Yeah, so there's
Speaking
a lot
of girl groups, I think I forgot to mention aespa.
aespa, yeah, exactly.
With Savage, wow.
Yeah, Savage.
Navis,
No,
we love you.
Savage, yeah, exactly. So yeah, there's a lot of great K-pop out right now. Just there's a fantastic playlist on Spotify called K-pop Debak, which is like in English translates to like K-pop wow. And it just has all of like the latest releases in K-pop. So if anyone who's listening wants to get into K-pop, that's probably a good place to start.
And I think you'd be the best person to talk about The Feels, because I love that song so much.
Yes. The Feels is Twice's one of the a group I love very much. It's actually the 6th anniversary today, and it's also my parents' anniversary. So it's just a really big day. It's
You
a
were
really
you were really meant
Yeah.
to be a once.
I know. But anyway, so obviously the more important one's the Twice. I'm just kidding. Mom, Dad, happy anniversary. But yeah, Twice's anniversary is today as well. And yeah, their latest single is called The Feels, which is their first full like English album. It's also the first song that they've released that charted on the Billboard charts. And I've heard a lot of people say that they really like the song, even though they don't like K-pop, because
It's just
to
so
be honest,
good.
as a K-pop fan, it doesn't sound like a K-pop song. So that's probably why a lot of people who don't necessarily like K-pop enjoy the song. So yeah, listen to The Feels. It's also a fantastic song. I was trying not to talk about them because I always end up talking for like an extra 5 minutes when you mention Twice.
It's fine.
But-
That's what we're
yeah.
here for, right?
But yeah, so yeah, there's Twice as well. Yeah, there's just so many.
And they're coming out with a new album.
Yes,
October?
in November. They're coming out with a new album in November. Which it just looks so good. They also had a Japanese Japanese song released recently. Called
It's on a
Perfect World,
roll.
which-
How many comebacks
Yeah.
have they had this year?
Oh, they usually have like 6 or 7 comebacks in a year because they do Japanese releases as well. Usually like a month or 2 after their Korean releases, so they're always coming with stuff. And personally, I actually like their Japanese singles more sometimes than the Korean singles. So listen to that also if you're not necessarily a K-pop fan, because it doesn't really sound like their K-pop stuff. So yeah,
Shout out naman
yes.
dyan sa Blackpink. It's been a year since your last album.
yeah.
I mean,
They're rumored. Well, they did. Rose had a comeback
And
with
Lisa.
on the ground.
Lisa.
And Lisa, yeah, La Lisa, which I don't want to anger the Blinks, but I didn't really like La Lisa because it just
Ayun na
sounds
si
like
Paula.
a
Ayun na si
Blackpink
Paula.
song.
Charot.
It's such a bop. though.
I like it. I like the song. I just wish it was like it didn't sound as close to their Blackpink stuff. That's all.
Yes,
That's
okay.
true, because Rose's songs are kind of different. Nga.
Yeah, they're pretty different, and yeah, Jenny's stuff was also different, and I hope Jisoo's stuff whenever why doesn't she
She
have
has
a
her
comeback?
K-drama coming up.
That's
on
true.
Disney Plus.
She does.
On Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah,
Also on
and the
WeTV,
Blackpink
probably.
movie. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, definitely. I feel like they're coming back soon as a group. Before
Mm, yeah,
Jisoo's
yeah.
solo. Baka
There's a
next
lot
year
of
si
rumors.
Jisoo.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah.
rumors about them having a comeback. So
As
yeah,
they should.
For Blinks, it's your yearly release of Blackpink. Oh, I'm not trying to make fun of Blinks. I'm a Blink. It's just it's so painful that they only come back once a year. Please.
And meanwhile,
But, yeah.
Adele takes like 6 years.
Exactly.
Make a
It's true.
comeback.
Right.
No, you're right. Yeah,
But
that's true.
parang in K-pop kasi it's also
Yeah.
1 year is already equivalent to 6
That's
years in
very
Adele
long.
time.
That's so long.
So,
Yeah. So yeah. But they get to do a lot of other stuff. So yay.
yeah, I mean they are influencers aside from just being
Mm.
K-pop artists. So I
Yeah,
guess,
they go to a lot more like fashion show. They do a lot of like more independent stuff than I think most
Yeah.
girl groups do. So yeah.
yeah, so that's part of the I guess schedule of Blackpink. But happy 4+1 anniversary Blackpink.
Yay.
Yeah, and that pretty much ends our show for the day. Of course, thanks Paula, Dren, and Purns for being here on our DC fandom and Celebrity Chica edition episode. And of course, if you're wanting more popcorn, go stream our podcast here on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you stream your podcasts. Of course, we're also here live on Radyo Katipunan every Thursday. Thank you so much to the Radyo Katipunan fam for all the support. I know that there's a Marian concert happening at the end of the month. So go check out the Radyo Katipunan page for more details on that concert. It's a benefit concert for Christmas. And there's a beneficiary for that. So watching the show would definitely help out a lot of people as well. And with that, we will see you all next time. And thank you so much. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Yo.
This is your stop for all things pop. Catch our all-around pop culture geek, Cholo Sediaren, as he throws in some dose of what's poppin' and what's hot in the pop culture scene here on Popcorn. Munch in with us every Thursdays from 4 to 6, only here on radyo-katipunan 87.9 FM.